Give it up for Steve Wright.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Top Story. Appreciate it. It's good to be back. Yes, I'm Driving Asshole Guy from the internet tubes. And I could have sworn I'd get laid after 50 hits. It did not happen. Today's top story, obviously, is the Oscars. It's kind of a big show here in Hollywood. And I don't really get into the Oscars very much for two reasons. A, I don't really have what you would call friends, family, or lovers in my life. So I don't go see movies with anybody. And number two, I don't like to spend all day watching beautiful people live out the dreams that I've given up on. So I don't really get into the Oscars very much. I do watch movies though. I usually go home and visit my mom and watch some movies. I'm so far behind on them though. We watch movies like Lost in Translation. Do you guys see that? Literally, that's how far, that's like 2003. But what I do is to make it more interesting for myself, I kind of make them kind of pranks for my mom. I have editing software now. Sony Vegas, $50.99.95 on Amazon.com. But I mean, literally, Lost in Translation, at the very end, you guys have seen this movie, Bill Murray has this unlikely friendship with this Scarlett Johansson character. She's a newlywed, he's an aging actor, and they have this platonic relationship with all this sexual tension throughout the whole movie. And at the very end, he goes up saying goodbye to her forever, and he whispers something to her. And there's no way to hear what he says. Like, I turned it all the way up, there's no way to hear. So I went in there, I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna change this thing. So I did some sound editing, and he goes up and he whispers something to her before he says goodbye to her. And I just added in, I really wish I banged you. And I just put it in there, my mom doesn't know. So she watches that, and at the end of the movie, she's like, that was such a sweet movie up until that moment. And I don't get that. Same thing with Avatar, you guys have seen Avatar, I assume. Pretty big movie. Devastating, the corporation, basically the US government, takes down the big tree where all the Avatar people live. Devastating scene, the thing comes down, it's like their home for centuries comes crashing down. Our main character is devastated, the female lead's like, I hate you, go away. He's devastated, the leader's dead, and I just fade out and go straight to credits. And my mom's like, what a fucking drag of a movie! The Crying Game. I just edited out the cock. So that big, reveal when they go, pan down, there's this cock there, and you find out she's a man. I just put a little vagina there. Get it out. So literally, my mom's like, I didn't see any twist in that movie. I heard there was this big twist. And I'm like, the twist is she's got really, really small breasts. And that's why he is so devastated in his reaction. When Harry Met Sally, she had not seen that. I'm like, let's watch When Harry Met Sally. And I'm like, how far can I take this? So I literally, she went to use the restroom. I'm like, perfect. I just took that DVD out, fuck the editing, and put in Friday the 13th Part 3. And she comes back and I'm like, she's like, what'd I miss? I'm like, not much. I mean, he kind of seemed to lose it. He's really anxious about this relationship thing, and he put on this weird hockey mask and went into the woods and found this campsite. I don't know anything other than that. And then she watched it. She's like, that's a movie with a twist. And I think there's one other movie that we watched. Let me check my watch here real quick. Casablanca. At the very end of Casablanca, of course, we have Humphrey Bogart lead. He's torn between love and virtue. He loves this girl, Ingrid Bergman, at the very end of the movie, but he lets her go for the greater good because she, is married to the resistance leader. And he literally, he does what's good, and he lets her go in the plane, and he walks away, we all know. And the famous last line, he's walking with Louis, and he says, Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So he just, totally validates himself as a good person. So I just lifted those lines. They're walking away. You don't need to time it to the mouth. Editing. And I literally was like, so he just literally says, there's a bomb on that plane. Got a Humphrey Bogart impersonator go, there's a bomb on that plane. And then I literally just had the sound effect. And I had this bright light. My mom was like, whoa! That's some dark shit for 1937. I wrote a poem, and you're gonna fucking hear it. It's kind of a love poem, to be honest with you. If you were a dog in the rain, I'd kick your face. If you were a cat, I'd pick you up, take you home, and give you a loving home forever. It's kind of a pro-cat poem. Anti-dog poem there. And again, I'm gonna check my watch to see what time it is. I wrote my set list out here. Would you like to hear my set list? Dag, top story, Oscars, Lost, Casablanca, Avatar, Crying Game, Harry, dog poem, cookies, middle finger, TiVo, penis. Let's do the TiVo shit. Have you guys heard of TiVo Ugly? No, you haven't, because I invented it, and you're not one of the 6 people that have seen my act on YouTube. TiVo Ugly is when you pause on somebody on TiVo, it doesn't matter when, they're gonna look ugly as shit. Elizabeth Vargas, she does the ABC News, and literally she could be at the very end of the broadcast and be like, good evening. You pause, it's like, The opposite of that is TiVo Beautiful, Bob Woodruff, God bless you, where you sleep tonight. That guy is so good looking, he actually got, unfortunately, blown away by an IED in Iraq. He lived, so this is funny. And literally, he's being blown away. You pause it, he's like, so yeah, I'm gonna copyright that shit. And one more time, look at the watch. I'll do this last bit and I'm out of here. I had a getting older moment the other day. We all get older, God damn it. And literally, I pointed at something with my middle finger. Why do old people do that? I've always wondered, well, now I know. Because it's slightly easier. Because literally, if you point at something, just let these fingers relax. And you're making your point with very ease. I usually go out on a terrible joke with no laughter whatsoever. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. That's how I roll. I'm straight.